Here at the Global Petroleum Shows, there are many speakers in attendance. One of them is Ernie Coates with Seal Weld. Ernie, you're here talking about common causes and prevention of leakage in new valves.
Yes, it's a big issue. Pipeline integrity is everything these days. So making sure the valving is sound and making sure that it's proper and correct is a big part of what we do and what our company offers and what I'm going to be talking about today.
Okay, tell us about some of the points that you'll be making.
Just the loss in revenue, the downtime, the disappointment to the end user if the product isn't working. If their valves are leaking, it can be very there's a huge economic downside to that. So the costs associated with it and how to prevent it. It's quite simple. It's just by a little routine maintenance, a little proper commissioning. It makes a big difference in the way that the valves function.
So you talked about the impacts that it'd have on the industry that way. There's also the impact of perception, I guess, out in the general public.
Absolutely, pipe integrity is everything now, and pipelines are targets. If they leak, it's bad for the whole industry. So I think it's up to all of us and anybody in the industry to make sure that these facilities are sound and everything that we can do to stop leaks, stop emissions to atmosphere. I think everybody should be doing their part that way, and this is a big part of it. If you can eliminate valve leakage and those types of problems, the systems are sound, there's no issues.
What are some of the common causes of valve leakage?
Usually it's debris inside the pipeline, so welding slag, valves have been overheated during the construction phase. There's a lot of ways to kill a soft-seated ball valve. So many ways. If they're not set up properly during the pigging process, if you run a pig across a valve that's not in the full open position, if part of the sealing face is exposed, it's damaged, and then it's a leaking process. So there's a lot that goes into making sure they're sound.
It sounds like it's quite a labor-intensive job if you were to do checks on these sorts of valves.
Really, it can be quite simple. One of our main focuses is pumping grease or lubricants into valves. If you're set up for it, if the equipment is available, it can be a very simple process.
More of a preventative maintenance type thing?
Absolutely, that's the name of our business. That's what we provide, and through our training, we can bring these things to light. So we can let people know that there's a little bit more you can do than just put them in and hope they come out the other side and they work. So it's very advantageous.
General question on pipelines. Of course, we've got the Keystone XL, which has slowed down, the Northern Gateway, which is running into obstacles as well. A lot of people are protesting the idea of a pipeline and of course, what it's transporting. But today's pipelines are much safer than yesterday's pipelines, are they not?
Absolutely. Enbridge with their gateway, they want to double the wall thickness of the pipe. They also want to double the block valves. So instead of one every 50 kilometers, I believe they want to put a block valve every 25 kilometers. I mean, that's a lot of integrity. Some of Enbridge's lines are 60, 65 years old. They've been workhorses, really reliable pieces of equipment. Pipelines I don't think are the issue. Sure, there's going to be problems over the long term, but if we're still producing heavy amounts of oil in 60 years, I think we're in a lot of problems.
Do you think that that's one of the concerns, I guess, as somebody in the industry, is that the public maybe doesn't understand that it's the old pipelines that may be of concern, the new pipelines are just built better?
Absolutely. And here in Canada, we've been building high-pressure, big pipelines for a long time. So Enbridge is very good at it. TransCanada is very good at it. They have a lot of experience when they're doing this sort of stuff. The last thing they want to do and have is a leak. Nobody wants to have a pipeline failure or a rupture. It's just bad for everybody. It's bad for the industry. So you're right. The perception is there that it's the pipeline, but it's really not. These facilities are rock solid sound.
Ernie, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
We've been chatting with Ernie Coates from Seal Weld.